figure out how to smoothly start the show.
What up, bitches?
What's going on, everybody? Classic Game Freak here.
And Retardo by choice.
Back with an episode of the Classically Retarded Show. Something we haven't done in a while.
Yeah, it's been, like 4 months, 5 months?
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Just a really long time.
Yeah. But like Ferris Bueller once said, if you don't pay attention, life will just go ahead and pass you by.
Well,
and that's pretty much what happened here. Life got ahead of us.
Yeah, life, I guess, but discouraged a little bit for me.
Discouragement, yeah.
I think you were feeling that a little bit too.
I'm still in the midst of my I haven't made a video in 2 months thing.
Oh, yeah, you need to change that, especially with some of the pickups you've said you found.
Yeah, I definitely gotta make a new video. It's really hard. Just have not been feeling the wanting to make a video vibe. I'll get my camera all ready and I'll sit there and I'll turn it on and start recording for a second and be like, you know what, I'm not feeling this, and I'll turn it off and then walk away for 15 minutes and come back and just not be in the mood at all, and I'll sit there for a day, a week, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, it's a month, 2 months.
I know that feeling because, I'll be at work and I will be thinking about making a video all day. And I mean all day. I'm sitting there thinking, well, I could do this and I can do that. I've got some great reviews in my head. But anytime I go to actually go implement those ideas, to actually go get video game footage, to go and start writing it or anything, I find myself sitting on my couch in my living room, turning on the PS4 and just playing one of the random games that I'm playing.
Right, yeah.
And I just lose, all of that motivation to work on a video. My last video was... What was my last video? I believe it was the unboxing for the Mad Max anthology.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if you saw that or not, but last I saw it was actually picking up a few views. I was kind of surprised.
No, nice.
Oh, excuse me. So, yeah, but you see, it's picking up views for kind of the wrong reasons, because in the video I bring up Tom Hardy, and instead of saying Tom Hardy, I say Matt Hardy. And so people were instantly like, did you say Matt Hardy? Who's Matt Hardy? And I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, okay, well, first of all, I haven't been in wrestling in years, and that used to be like a subpar wrestler back in the WWF days. So
yeah. I'm not a wrestling fan myself, but there was a time from 1998 to 2001 where I was really into wrestling for a while, and so I know who Matt Hardy is, part of the Hardy Boys, of course. My wrestler of choice was Mankind. I love Mankind.
Oh, geez, Mankind, Dude Love,
Cactus Jack,
yeah, just straight up Mick Foley.
Mick Foley's a bomb, man.
And
he's insane.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put it out there, back when I was into wrestling. I mean, I was in wrestling from the late '80s until it was about 2000, 2001. So I got to see some really great matches. The one that's always stood out for me is Mankind versus Undertaker in the steel cage.
Yes, the Hell in a Cell match. That was a great match.
Was it Hell in a Cell?
That was Hell in a Cell. It was actually the first one.
Jeez. Yeah, where Undertaker choke slams him through the ceiling and onto a bed of tacks. Holy crap. Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't care how fake wrestling might be. You can't fake that shit.
No. And I remember watching an interview about it afterward, and Mick Foley actually said that his tooth popped out of his mouth and went down his nose.
How does that happen?
I don't know.
Went down his nose.
Yeah, it's like the magic bullet with Kennedy. It's you can't explain it. It just happened.
Well, I do know that there was a kind of a close-up shot that they did of him getting up and smiling as he was getting up on the ropes, and he said he wasn't actually smiling, but he was actually pushing his tongue through a hole in his lip that had happened. And I mean, it's just, oh my God. I like to go back on occasion and watch that match because, I mean, like I said, no matter how fake wrestling is, there's no wires, there's no hooks, nothing like that. I mean, he fell how high up? At least a story?
Yeah, at least that.
It was like a story and a half, and just unbelievable. I mean, I'm surprised that man is still alive to this day.
Right.
Because didn't he used to be into the really, like, extreme shit? Like, the real extreme wrestling? You know, barbed wires and all that?
Yeah, he was in the ECW for a long time. He was in the hardcore division when he was with the WCW. So, I mean, he was the hardcore champion for years and years and years.
Jeez.
Because of the extremes that he put his body through. I mean, the barbed wire and the fire and the tacks and the tables and the chairs and the ladders, and I mean, just the totally insane amount of things that he just put his body through. I mean, he shouldn't even be able to stand, let alone walk.
Right. But how old is he? I mean, they say that wrestlers don't live past like 55, and unfortunately, you know, that's the case with Roddy Piper and I'm thinking of who else passed away this past year. There was another wrestler. I can't remember, but Hot Rod was a big one for me. So
yeah.
He was like 52, 53, I think.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But
not 100% sure.
I know he's got to be in his 60s by now. Old dude love.
Probably. It's hard to tell.
But I don't think anybody else has been able to get up on his level as far as, you know, just that hardcore wrestling. I mean, wrestling might be a little better right now if they had more wrestlers like him, but I don't ever see it.
No. Once WCW got folded into the WWF, I just stopped watching because it became there was just way too many wrestlers and I couldn't keep up anymore.
Right. I don't know. Well, you know, for me, I couldn't choose between the two. I was having a hard time choosing between the two. I mean, I was always kind of into the WWF because I was really into Hulk Hogan, and, you know, I love all the classics. You know, Razor Ramon, you had Lex Luger, Bam Bam Bigelow, Doink the Clown, you know.
Yeah, Doink and his sidekick Dink.
Right. And so, you know, there's a lot of classics there. A lot of them I had fun with. And then, like, I got out of it a little bit. And then, like, the WWF arcade game came out back in, like, 94. And that, like, rekindled my love for wrestling. Like, instantly, I was all about, like, Shawn Michaels. So, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. And, yeah, anybody that was really in that game. The Undertaker, always. I've always been into The Undertaker, so.
Right on.
So we haven't done this show in God knows how long. But I don't even remember what the last show was about. Because our Podomatic's really weird right now. Like, it says we have 2 episodes on there. And yet it's got like episode 7. Like, I use this app called Podcast Addict, and it says we have 1 episode and it's like episode 7, but we have like 2 and 5 on Podomatic. So I don't know which episode this is, and I don't know what we talked about last.
Don't know, and I don't remember.
It doesn't matter. That's the past. This is now.
This is now. The future is now.
So since then, we've had an E3 happen. We didn't do a show about the E3, which we did last year.
And the year before.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah. Our first show was an E3 show.
Holy crap, we've been doing this long? Dude, we need to...
Yeah, we're old men.
Dude, I know, I keep thinking about, like, yeah, I remember when this came out, and I'm like, it's still new, and I'm like, wait a minute. No, it's not. I'm this old.
Yeah. Twisted Metal is not new anymore.
Yeah. I'll listen to an album, and I'll be like, man, like, what's the song? Paralyzer by Finger 11 had come on the other day on the radio. And I was like, yeah, this is still pretty new. And I'm like, wait a minute. No, it's not. This came out back in 2008. 2009, somewhere around there. I'm like, holy crap. That was, I start counting. And whenever I have to start using,
Fingers and toes?
Do what?
When you have to start using fingers and toes?
Fingers and toes, yeah. When you have leftover numbers, when you're doing the addition or multiple or subtraction or whatever, there's too many years. That's all there is to it. So, we've had a little bit of time happen between episodes, and I hope that we can get motivated enough to be able to actually continue the show, continue making shows. Yeah, it might not be weekly, it might not even be bi-weekly, but at least once a month. I know we were kind of throwing that idea around, and I do have fun doing this, and I know you do. And I think for me, it was just getting to where it was like we were trying to edit too hard for YouTube. Like, we wanted people's peepers on our content, and we were wanting to show them what we were talking about, but in the end, this is a podcast.
Yeah, essentially it's just us talking about what we enjoy, which is 98% games, and then 2% whatever the hell else we talk about.
Yeah. So, I mean, what I'm going to say is, hell, if you want to go and take one of our episodes and edit it into one big old video, be my guest. But I don't have time for it, It's just... I've got work, and I've acquired a bunch of new friends, actually, since the last episode, actually here in town. So it makes this town kind of livable and enjoyable. So, and also, there's always beer and liquor and burgers and, going out and just having a good time. So there's that, and, so... Even that's prevented me from making YouTube videos. Like, all last week, I was like, I'm going to make a new video. And then I'd have a friend being like, hey, I'm going to come over before work. Oh, okay, come on over before work. Let's play a game. Let's play some Mortal Kombat. So,
right.
So we've had a lot of titles release, a lot of games that had been on people's radars. There's been a lot of announcements. And, you've probably picked up one or two or three of them. I've picked up a few. So let's just go ahead. I'll ask you, what have you been playing lately? I don't even have any idea because you don't make videos anymore and you really don't post anything on Facebook or anything like that. So I have no idea what you're playing.
Yeah, I've been a little antisocial on the social medias, which is kind of a funny oxymoron there. But yeah, I haven't been playing as many games as I had been in the past, but I have been playing my Xbox One a little bit.
Right.
And there's two games I've been playing right now. The first game I've been playing is the Saints Row 4, the re-elected collection, which is basically an Xbox One and PS4 HD remake of the 360 and PS3 version. With
Right.
all the DLC content, and then it's got a bonus DLC of called Gat Out of Hell, where basically you're an archangel, and you fly around hell, and you do missions down there.
No shit. See, I
Yeah.
had known about Gat Out of Hell. I had seen the picture for it, and it's Johnny Gat with wings, but I never fully knew what it was. I never actually played Saints Row 3, or 4, I should say.
Right. Well, before I picked this game up, my last experience with Saints Row was the original Saints Row for the 360, and last time I played that, it was my impression of it was basically it was a cheap Grand Theft Auto knockoff, and that was pretty much that was the impression I got when I played it years and years and years and years ago. But then I was hearing a bunch of stuff about Saints Row 4 being really good, all this stuff coming out for it, and then they released back in January the basically the definitive collection has everything that was ever released for it, and I figured, no, why not? Go ahead and pick it up, and I'll tell you for a fact, it is nothing like the original Saints Row. I don't know if it's anything like Saints Row 2 or Saints Row 3 because I didn't play those. I kind of skipped those, but it is odd, different, weird, funny, off-putting, and definitely a mind scratcher from time to time. But it is fun. But also, in the same token, it is very repetitive. A lot of the missions are the same thing over and 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 over, and it gets very monotonous really quick. And I can only play for probably about an hour at a time before I gotta put it down and just take a break or just turn it off for the night and watch some Netflix or something.
So it's one of those games you can't play just constantly. You gotta just kind of take it in missions, a mission here, mission there.
Pretty much, because if you sit down for anything more than an hour and you're playing these missions, you'll realize real quick that all the missions are pretty much interchangeable. It's like you'll have like a series of things to do, like, oh, go to the store and take over the store. Go to this place and do this mission. Go here and get a high score on this killing field. And it's like, okay, and then the next mission be like, okay, go here to this killing field and get a high score on this one. Go to this store and take over this store. And it's like, okay, they changed the order, but essentially it's the same thing over and over and over. And, I mean, small doses is fun. Anything more than that, it will drive you insane, and just you'll put it down going, this game sucks.
Well, I know that I heard a lot of people trying to compare it to Grand Theft Auto, and in the long run, it's very comical. I want to say I played a good portion of 3 and had a blast. Like, it was just hilarious. So 4, I heard, did get a little repetitive because of like the superpowers you get. Am I right on that?
The superpowers are actually really fun. The repetitive part is having to level up so you can purchase the upgrades for the powers. That gets very monotonous.
I gotcha. See, I heard that they were also kind of overpowered too.
They can be from time to time. I know some of the missions you get to jump from platform to platform, and after you level up your jumping ability once or twice, you're jumping like stories and stories and stories high and far. So you'll miss the platforms you're trying to get to, or you'll overshoot them. It gets very frustrating.
Nice. So it's kind of like a Crackdown to a degree. Did you ever play that
Yeah,
one?
Yeah, like Crackdown.
Crackdown was freaking great. I don't care what anybody says. The first Crackdown, freaking amazing.
Yes, I actually enjoyed that game quite a bit. I was I don't want to say addicted, but I definitely played that quite a bit. There was a point where I was like, I'm going to get this stupid achievement where I can get up on top of the tallest building and jump off.
And yeah, where I can jump off and land in the little pool at the base of the building.
Yeah.
I will admit that I was addicted. Like, that was one of the reasons I got an Xbox 360 was Crackdown. I remember I was flying back from Washington State, and I had a Game Informer to keep me busy, and on the cover was Crackdown. And I remember reading it and being like, man, this sounds really cool. You know, open world, I could really sink my teeth into this. So when Halo came out, they included a demo of Crackdown with it. No, vice versa. I'm sorry. It was Crackdown came with a demo for Halo 3. People were buying Crackdown just for the Halo demo, but later discovered that Crackdown was freaking amazing. And the reason I got hooked on it was the agility orbs. Like, I wanted my character to jump higher, and in order to do that, you had to get these orbs that were just scattered all throughout the city. And it made your skills better. It made your car freaking just transform into the freaking Batmobile, practically.
Right.
And so it was great. Crackdown 2, not so much. But they are working on the next Crackdown on the Xbox One. And here's something you probably never thought you'd hear from me.
Uh-oh. Am I getting the...
You know what it is. You know what it is.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Am I getting the Xbox boner here? What?
And this is being recorded. This is going to be on the episode. This is not going to be edited out, but
Nice.
It's making me want an Xbox One.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I feel like a 13-year-old girl singing One Direction in concert. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
That's pretty disgusting.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My daughter my daughter listens to One Direction 24/7, so
Okay,
unfortunately,
so maybe you
unfortunately
understand.
I know a lot of the songs.
Oh dear God.
I know. It's horrible. It's like when I was growing up and my sister was into New Kids on the Block. I could hear that coming through the bedroom walls every day. So I knew, not wanting to, but I knew almost every single New Kids on the Block song. Same thing here with the One Direction.
Nasty. That's wrong. That's just wrong.
I know. It is. It's disgusting, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
Right. Well, yeah, Crackdown is making me want an Xbox One, and the thing that sold it for me was the fact that in multiplayer, you can topple whole buildings with machine guns. I mean, I don't know if you've seen any video footage of it or anything, but it looks freaking spectacular.
No, I've actually decided upon myself to kind of ban myself from watching any previews, trailers, or any gaming information on the internet.
Oh, no.
Because, well, for this reason alone. I remember back in the day, finding that golden treasure of a game is, going out, spending 5, 10, 15, maybe $20 on a game, and, it either being a golden nugget that was just hidden that you knew nothing about, or being a total dog. And nowadays, in this world that we live in, we have information at our fingertips 24/7, and we can find out anything we want about anything. And so the thrill of like finding these nuggets is kind of gone now, because we can find out anything we want about any game ever, or
True.
any celebrity, or whatever it is that we're hooked on. And so I've kind of did like a self-imposed media blackout where I'm not watching anything online where it comes to video games. I'm not watching anything about any upcoming games. I know like when, Fallout 4 is coming out. I know when the Tony Hawk game's coming out, but I don't know any more details than that, or what I see on TV. I'm not actively going out there searching for the information to get excited now, and then when it comes out, not be as excited.
I can see that. I mean, I will admit, we had talked the other day, and you were talking about the new Tony Hawk game coming out, and if it's one thing I did have to go and watch was the Clueless Gamer, Conan O'Brien doing his little gaming segment, and yeah. It kind of does ruin it for me a little bit. I watched, Marshawn Lynch play Mortal Kombat. Him and Gronk.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
Watch that. That was hilarious. And then, I had to watch the one with The Witcher 3 because I knew Conan was going to go directly for that unicorn sex scene. I was like, I gotta see this. I gotta see how he's going to respond. And he did in Conan O'Brien fashion. So if you haven't seen that, I highly recommend going and watching The Clueless Gamer on YouTube. Checking it out, because he's like a horny teenager with it.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Or check out his website. It's teamcoco.com, and it's got all the Clueless Gamers from the first episode to the newest episode.
And I just recently found out that actually the guy that does the Clueless Gamer segment with him actually does like Twitch streams. Like he literally does it for like Team Coco, you know? So I was just like kind of blown away by that. It was like on the front page one day when I went to Twitch. I was just like, holy crap, they actually play these online live. That's cool.
Yeah, and that's his job.
Yeah.
He gets paid by Conan O'Brien to play video games on Twitch and on his website.
And then come and tell him about it and point out the horniest moments.
Right.
Or the funniest, yeah. So, beyond, what was it? Saints Row 4, anything else?
Well, see, I've also been going through this thing where I am trying not to buy any more games till I finish the game I bought previously.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because I have a bad habit of just going out and like, oh, I got $20. What can I buy with $20? And I'll go out and buy, 3 used games or whatever it is that I find or pick up wherever I'm at. And so I was like, okay, I got this stack of games. And I started doing it with my Xbox One. I just got my Xbox One like 4 months ago. Yeah. And I've already got like 10 games. And I've only played or beat 4 or 5 of them already. And there's 5 games I haven't gone through yet. So I was like, okay, before I go buy any more games, I'm going to pick one game, play it, beat it, then I'll go on to the next one. Well, the one I chose to play and beat was Saints Row 4. I picked it up about a month ago. I was playing it. Like I said, hour here, hour there. I got to a point where I had about 22 hours into it or so. And one day, not last week, week before, I decided, I had about an hour before my daughter got off the bus from school. So I figured I'd go just play a little Saints Row for a little bit before my daughter got off the bus. Sat down, put the disc in, booted it up, went to the save file, and it just froze. It just sat there.
I know
sat there and loading and didn't do anything for like 10 minutes, and I was getting really frustrated. So I took the game out, cleaned out the disc, put it back in, reloaded it, went back to the save file, same thing. I was like, okay, this is getting redonkulous. I was getting mad. I was getting pissed because, like I said, 22 hours into it, I'm not starting this shit over. Not going to happen. So I tried again. Turn off the Xbox, unplug everything, plug it all back in, put the game back in, reload it from scratch, go back in there, go to the save file, same thing. I was like, okay, I'm getting mad. I am furious. So I'm like, all right, I'm about to toss this thing out the window. But before I do, I was like, okay, let me try one more thing. I'll try starting a new game, go to save it under a new file, and then go and load it from within the game. So I go start a new file, go through the opening crap and all that stuff, get to the point where I can save it, go to load my old game, locks up again. I got so mad. So I took the game out, I put it down, I immediately went to Facebook, I said, fuck this game, blah, blah, blah. I'm never playing this game again, ever. Eat my ass. I'm not doing it.
And I remember that post, so I remember telling you, I hope you get it fixed, man.
I was furious. So I let it go for a couple days. I put the game back in. It loads up. I go to the save file. Same thing. So I said, okay, I'm done. I'm not playing this game ever again. It's going to sit on my shelf collecting dust. I don't care. Eat my ass. About a week ago, got this big old update from Xbox. It just updated the system for one reason or another. I couldn't find any information online to find out why it was doing an update or what the update was for. So it updated, took about an hour. Didn't think anything of it. Then I'd say about 4 days ago, I decide I'm going to go ahead and try to play it again just to see if it works. Because if it works, great. If not, I'm for real 100% done with it. No more. I'm not going to touch it, not going to play it, not going to look at it, nothing. So I pop it in, it loads up, and it automatically loads my last save file. Pop, boom.
Holy
Yay,
crap.
happy days. I don't know what it was. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was just the fact that the system just needed an update and is causing a problem with the save file. I don't know. I have no clue. But it worked, and it's worked several times since then. So I'm back playing that game. But while I was out of commission with that game, I went out and bought another game because the game I chose to be the game I was going to play and beat, I couldn't do because, well, it was on the fritz. So I went out and I picked up Tomb Raider, the definitive collection.
Right.
And I played it and beat it for the Xbox 360 about a year and a half ago or so, and I really enjoyed it. It's actually my favorite Tomb Raider game of all time. I played every incarnation of Tomb Raider up until this point, and this is actually my absolute hands down favorite Tomb Raider game ever.
It is a really good Tomb Raider game.
It's excellent. I mean, the story's good, the graphics are awesome, and just the mechanics of the whole is just awesome.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Lara Croft does murder like dozens upon dozens upon dozens of guys in this game, but I mean,
oh yeah,
still, it's good. It's like Nathan Drake.
Yeah. But it is actually on sale for like $17. Picked it up, and of course I find out the next day that as part of being a gold member with Xbox, it's a free download for the month. So yeah, but I wanted a hard copy of my own anyway. It doesn't matter. But I mean, it's essentially the same game from the 360 days. It's just the graphics have been updated. It looks amazing. I mean, it really does. From what I understand, though, the PS4 version looks even better than the Xbox One version, which makes me a little jealous about that. But I mean, I'm still happy with it. Well. And plus, it comes with all the DLC from the 360 version. So, I mean, it's actually a good collection for the price I paid. Yeah. And, I'm happy with it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's definitely one to have in the collection. See, me, unfortunately, I don't yet. I have a digital copy on my PC. And when I first played it, it was on the 360, but it was a Redbox rental. So I, blew through it as fast as I could and returned it a couple days later. And so I bought it on PC. It was on sale. I think it was on a Steam sale or something like that. And went ahead and picked it up. I think it's great, but I'd love to play it on my PS4.
Oh yeah, I highly recommend them. And if you're a fan of Tomb Raider, and obviously you played the game before, so you know what you're getting into. It's not a surprise. It looks amazing. I mean, it really does.
Yeah.
And even with the limited graphics of the Xbox One compared to the PS4, it still looks great. And from what I've seen of the PS4 version of the Tomb Raider, it looks great. I mean, it's really envious. I mean, if I had a PS4, I would think I would prefer to have Tomb Raider on the PS4 as opposed to Xbox One.
Yeah. Well, I mean, try to get best of both worlds, but I mean, yeah, I know there is sometimes when one console kind of looks a little better, and yeah, it's always like, hey, what the hell? Why does Xbox One get that? PS4 doesn't? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. That does kind of rub me the wrong way sometimes when certain consoles or certain systems will get oh, we have this game 6 months before you do, or we have this exclusive DLC that you can only get with this system.
Oh God, I hate that.
Yeah, with the Batman Arkham Knight. Man, there's so many different exclusives. The PS4, we got the 1966 Batman skin. You don't get that Xbox One. Nana boo boo.
Yeah, I'd seen that. I mean, and for a guy like me, I didn't care. Especially with Arkham Knight, it was a good game, but once I beat it, I was done with it. I really didn't want any of the downloadable stuff. I didn't want the 1989 Batmobile to do one one challenge map. I didn't want the Tumbler. I didn't care because I knew new games were coming out and I knew I wanted to play them. Now, Arkham Knight is the only Batman game that I have actually played completely through. So,
Which is a real big surprise to me, man, because the Arkham series is a phenomenal series. I've told you that many times before.
Yeah, we've argued that. Well, we haven't argued it, but we have discussed it, and you've tried to beat that into my head several times on the show, actually. But
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree, they're great. But like Arkham Knight, for those of you who don't know, I ended up getting the Arkham Knight limited edition PS4, and it came with the game, came with the Nightmare missions, which I actually didn't get for some odd reason, but came with that and came with the Harley Quinn mission, which was really like, I would have been pissed off if I had actually purchased that, because it's such a short mission. If they would have tried to charge me $15, I would have been totally pissed.
Yeah, I pre-ordered the game from GameStop, and I got that Harley Quinn thing also. And it was really short. I mean, it was probably like, less than an hour?
Yeah, if even that. I think I played it 30 minutes, and I was doing a Twitch stream, and it was like I expected more. It finished up, and it was over. I was just like, okay, are you kidding me? Because I really expected to take a chunk of my time and play through as Harley, and no, it was more like a demo level than anything else.
Yeah. Well, they made such a big hoopla about it. They're like, oh, play as Harley Quinn, it's exclusive, only level, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, sweet. That sounds awesome.
And it just flopped. So
it was so weak.
I played through it. I was just hitting a vacation. The place I work at shuts down for a week normally in July, and then shuts down 2 weeks in December for Christmas time. And so I thought, well, I have this game. I want to beat it. I really do. So I kind of got lost in it and really want to play it through. I wouldn't say I completed it, because at the end there's something that happens that if you want to see the true ending, you have to do like absolutely everything. And I'm talking even like the Riddler puzzles. And it just I was just like, no, I will watch the true ending on YouTube. So
I did the same thing.
I hate those Riddler things. So
I do too.
I did what I could and played through what I was going to, and just kind of sat it down because, like I said, new games were coming out, and new games came out. They did. So I'm playing like 3 games at once right now, and it's really getting frustrating because I don't have the time for all of them.
Well, what you playing right now, bud?
Oh, geez. Well, and it's funny because I thought, when we started talking about doing the show again, I thought, well, maybe one of these games, just one, maybe we'll have in common. You'll be playing it on the Xbox, and I'll be playing it on the PS4. But no, I was wrong.
Yep.
So I'm going to try to go through them really quick, beyond just like all odd MMOs I'm playing on my computer and doing Twitch streams on. First off, I guess I can do them in order. 2 of them came out the same damn day. And that was frustrating because 2 weeks in advance, I'm like, which one am I going to play first? Which one am I going to get lost in? And it was really agitating because I was switching between the 2. I was like, well, I want to play this one, but I want to play this one, but no, I want to go back to this one. So same day, I think it was September 1st, Mad Max came out. Mad Max, I'm a huge Mad Max fan. I had just gotten the anthology, love Fury Road. That movie just blew my mind, so I had to go get the whole collection. So Mad Max, I hadn't pre-ordered it or anything, but then I was like, yes, I gotta have it. I gotta see what happens in this game. So I got that, and on the same day, Metal Gear Solid 5 came out. So I had to get that because I've been into every Metal Gear that's come out. So there was those 2. Metal Gear, it I don't know. I like it, but at the same time, I'm trying to save it a little bit. I really want to sink my teeth into it, but I haven't been playing it nearly as much as Mad Max. Mad Max, it's just, you're upgrading your car and everything, and just there's convoys you can be attacking, and it just blew my mind. It felt really good. I mean, Max is a bit talky in it as opposed to the movies, but it like those two were great. And then I knew this was coming out, and I wasn't going to get it, but after hearing all the hype for it, I had to get it. And this is actually getting a game again. Like, I had this game, I sold it, and then I wanted it back, and that's Destiny.
Now, did you get the regular Destiny, or did you get the new updated version that just came out last week?
The Taken King.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a legendary edition, but I mean, to be quite honest, it's just really like it's Destiny. Like, when you open it up, it is the Destiny disc, and then you get like downloadable stuff. You get downloadable codes, and it's for 3 different expansion packs. And here's the thing about Destiny. It was about this time last year when the game originally came out, and I had my wife go pick it up for me at the midnight release because I was really, I was excited, but I was really kind of hesitant about it. I played it, and I was pissed off because it felt like there was no content. Like, it was the same levels over and over and over and over again. The loot drops weren't right. It was giving you cheaper loot than you actually thought you were getting. It's kind of hard to explain if you've never played the game. Just imagine getting like something encoded, and it like different rarity levels is like there's a white, then there's a green, then there's a blue, then there's a purple.
Like Borderlands.
Yeah, like Borderlands, Diablo, games like that. So it like I would get blue drops. Like, you'd see the blue little 20-sided dice that almost look like drop. You go pick it up, and you're like, yes, man, this is going to be good. You take it back to the guy that decodes them for you, and it would be like a green or a white. You're like, what the hell just happened here? You know, I got frustrated with it. So there was no raids at the time. It was just awful. So I turned around and I traded it off for a better game. You know, I got the highest trade-in I could get for it, which was like $30-something. And I was like, well, cut my losses, whatever. And I ended up buying a different game. So now that the Taken King has come out, like, they've gone back. There's a thing that follows you around called a ghost, which is like this mechanical floating, you know, companion. They had Peter Dinklage from what's the name of that stupid show? Game of Thrones. Voice him, and he just deadpan the whole time. Just awful. They went back and got Nolan North to voice him. Voiced every line and everything, and he kind of brought the character to life a little bit. There's a lot more storyline. There's a lot more cutscenes. The loot drops right now. There's raids. There's just all kinds of like new content. Enemies, like, you'll be playing a level, and all of a sudden enemies will be taken over by what's called the Taken. And it really bumps up the difficulty levels just out of the blue, completely random. And it makes me want to keep playing. Like, I literally bought this game last weekend. Yeah, it's been a week now. Bought this game last weekend, and I literally sat down Mad Max and Metal Gear. Because, like, I'll be playing, I'll be like, Will, I can level up one more time. I can level up one more time. Ooh, I want to see what this weapon's like. You know, it's just really good now. A year ago, I hated this game. So,
right.
That's what I've been playing. But, I mean, it's worth it. The $60, I recommend it to anybody who's a shooter fan like that. A shooter fan and a Diablo fan.
Right. Now, I heard that day one out of the box, you put the game in, and you automatically upgrade to level 25. Is that true?
Yeah. Well, first off, for any of our listeners that don't have the game yet, if you go and get the game, be prepared for a 17 gigabyte download.
Holy shit. 17 gigabytes?
17 gigabytes. That took me about 3 hours. If it might have been a little less, but originally it said 3 hours. So, buyer beware. So,
wow.
Yeah, as soon as you jump into the game, you get an item that literally says, level up to level 25, good for one use. So, I mean, if you have a level 2 character that you're coming back to the game with, Boom, instant level 25.
Now, what does that do for you? I heard something about like there's like after you beat the game, there's like other levels you can go into, but you had to be a certain level to get into those levels.
Right. The thing about the game is you got to have the certain level, and then you got to have the right gear. And if you there's a something called light associated with the armor that you pick up. There's a certain light rating, and with each pickup you get, it increases that light level. Like I'm level right now, I think my main character, she's a warlock sitting at like level 34, but she's got a light rating of like 156. So you got to get that gear good enough to reach, like let's say it says you need to be level 180 with your light. You got to have the gear equaling 180. So they don't want you going in like with weaker armor and things like that, and it makes total sense.
Right, okay.
Back when the game first came out, it was really confusing and really frustrating because the level cap was level 20. The game used normal experience-based levels to level up. So you're always getting 15 experience per kill. You're getting 2,500 experience for completing quests, things like that. Well, once you reach level 20, your level went up according to your light level. So you were level 20, but your light level let you get to level 22. You know, and then if you unequipped that armor, you were back down to level 20. It didn't really make sense, and it was really frustrating, and that was also one of the turnoffs for me as far as the game went. So they fixed that. Like, you can get up to level 40 now, like the cap's level 40, but then you can get your light level up, and then you've got to have your armor that good in order to go fight something or go into a 6-man raid.
Oh, wow. Sounds like a lot of things you gotta do in order to do certain tasks and missions, huh?
Yeah, and like I said, it's actually kind of nice. It makes a lot of sense now. And I mean, it keeps you wanting to come back and play more and get that better armor. There's a character named it's a non-playable character named Zur that shows up in like the safe city that you can go back to every time you get done with a mission. It's called the Tower. It's like the last remaining city on Earth. He appears during the weekends somewhere in the tower, like always someplace different. And you can't just use normal currency called Glimmer. You can't use Glimmer. You've got to get these what's called strange coins. And he gives exotic gear, you know, like level 40 gear. So you can achieve strange coins by completing getting up to a certain level, by completing quests, things like that. So you're always wanting to go do this quest to get more strange coins, or you know, just whatever to try to get that gear. There's different NPCs you can talk to that you can raise your faction with them a little bit, and then they start selling you gear. There's also the PvP version of it, where if you get enough currency through the PvP, you can get that loot and everything. So there's a lot to it. It might seem kind of bare bones when you first get into it, but in the long run, it's very addicting.
It sounds like it.
It's fantastic. I can't believe that I like it as much as I do now.
Well, this goes to show sometimes that if you put a little bit more time and effort into a game and put it out the way it's supposed to be put out, then you know you might get more fans that way.
Exactly. Now the DLC, yeah, it is kind of a bummer. They were charging for it. I mean, if you get the season pass, and great, but the DLC really makes it worth it because they're dropping out new weapons and things like that, and you know, anybody who's looking to get into the game, I mean, they would be right in instead of going and buying that used copy for $15 of, you know, regular Destiny, going and buying a new copy with the Taken King and just going for it.
All right. Well, it sounds like a good recommendation then.
It's for anybody who has a love for games like Borderlands, Halo, like I said, Diablo. It really, the way I describe it to people, the way I tell people is it's Diablo and Halo. It's a first-person shooter loot grind. So anybody who likes loot and constantly upgrading armor, this is the game. Now, the real bummer part, I'm going to kind of change gears here a little bit. Bummer part for me, and as an Xbox One user, you'll probably kind of cackle at this a little bit. But if you saw my Facebook Friday, I think it was, I mentioned it. I'm having to send my PS4 in to get fixed.
I heard about that. What's going on, sir?
Oh, well, it seems like it's overheating. It'll reset at times. It'll sound like a jet engine, really. It's just, and it's ventilated. I understand ventilation. I understand the PlayStation needs air. But when it's this ventilated and it sounds like a jet engine with any game I play and resets, then I have an issue. Also, the controller that came with it, as soon as I got it out of the box, like I was playing Batman, and Batman kept crouching up and down really quick. And I was like, what is going on here? So I thought there was just something I wasn't doing right or something. Well, no, it turns out the R2 button was so sensitive that it was practically pushing itself. You play, I discovered this just last week with a friend of mine, Mortal Kombat. You should see the block. The character blocks super quick and makes the game practically unplayable with the controller. So I'm having to send both the system in and the controller in. And here's the kicker. I'm having to pack them separately to send them to different locations. Explain that one to me.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm a little miffed because I've got these 3 games that I'm really into. Mad Max, I'm probably not even halfway through yet, and Metal Gear says I'm 3% through it, and Destiny, which I'm really trying to get to level 40 to do the raids, but I'm going to have to send my PlayStation in this week, and they're saying it could be 3 to 4 weeks before I get it back.
That's insane.
Yeah, all I said was I better have it by November 10th. I don't care what's going on. It, for one, better be fixed, and 2, better be back by November 10th, because I refuse to miss the Fallout bandwagon.
Right. Yeah, that'd suck to not be on that bandwagon, sir.
Especially when I've got a Pip-Boy edition going to be coming in the mail.
Really?
Yes. I am a lucky one. Don't hate. I shall bathe in the jealousy.
Oh, there's no jealousy here, sir.
Oh, come on.
No, honestly. I thought that the Pip-Boy edition was kind of pushing it with the special editions. Especially since you gotta throw your own smartphone in there and whatnot. I was kind of okay, I guess that's awesome.
Well, here was the deal for me. I liked my Fallout 3 Collector's Edition. I loved the bobblehead. I loved the lunch pail, everything like that. And, with 4, they really did a good job with the Pip-Boy edition, I think. Because, yeah, it really looks like the Pip-Boy from the game. And the fact that they actually created that app to go along with your phone to put in there and actually use the Pip-Boy, you can, if you want to go full-on nerd and wear that thing while you're playing the game, then be my guest. At least it puts you into the game somewhat. But I thought it was kind of cool. I'm going to kind of display that on my shelf.
It'll definitely look good on a shelf, but I just couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't see wearing going, check out my Pip-Boy, guys. This is so cool.
Okay, I will admit it would make a pretty cool piece to some cosplay.
Yeah, I guess if you're into cosplay, that'd be pretty cool to throw on, but I don't know.
So, yeah, there's that going for it, So I pre-ordered one, and I could always turn around and scalp it if I wanted to, but I don't really want to.
Right.
Because, I know from what I heard, they're already going for $500 on Amazon, or not Amazon, but on eBay, and it hasn't even been released yet.
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
So, no, I'm just looking forward to the game. I know I lost about 2 weeks of my life to Fallout 3, and that was being unemployed and like playing it non-stop for 2 weeks. And I can only imagine they're saying like this is 3 times bigger than Skyrim. So that's
yeah, and Skyrim was pretty freaking big.
Yeah. So, and that makes me a little nervous because like I tend to get turned off from games where it's like there's too much exploring. Like you're trying to get from point A to point B, but it's just it just takes so long, you know, because I know you can't fast travel when you first start out. Like you can't fast travel to someplace you haven't discovered yet, so you've got to trek there. So that worries me.
Yeah, because I know when I was playing the Fallout New Vegas, and that was a pretty huge map in itself. Yeah. And there are still tons and tons of locations I had not discovered yet by the time I beat the game. And I put so much time in that game, there's no way in hell I'm going back to try to find like a bomb shelter or a TP hut or something. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of how I felt about it. Like, I tried to get back into that game on the PC here about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and it's like, there's so much to explore. It's a good game, yes, but there's so much to explore, I can't do it. I just can't.
It's a lot. It's a lot to handle.
It is. Now, I will admit it made it much more palatable when you go and put a bunch of mods on it. Like, it actually makes the game kind of pretty to look at, because, I mean, the game's always been kind of rough. I mean, even when it first came out, looking at the characters was just awful. But it made it tolerable. Like, it actually made it kind of pleasing to the eyes. All the browns and everything, browns and the greens in the game, yeah, it made it a little bit better to play.
Right.
So, anyway, one thing we wanted to talk about on the show tonight, there's a little show that's been going on for, I believe 5 episodes now, and that's Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And anybody who listens knows we are Walking Dead fans. And
Walking Dead.
Dude, Walking Dead, October 11th. I can't freaking wait. Oh my gosh. They keep showing the commercials for it on AMC, and I'm just like, oh.
It's looking sweet.
Yeah. And thankfully, I didn't have such a long wait in between seasons, because I was still working on catching up from like season 3 to now, after the past season had gone over. So I was working on catching up, but I mean, even from there to here, you know, to almost the first episode of the season, it's been kind of a grind, but there's been the hope that Fear the Walking Dead would be a nice little break, you know, make you not miss it so much. So yeah, new cast, different location. It's not in Georgia, it's in Los Angeles. And basically it starts out when the whole zombie apocalypse starts, and goes from there and kind of follows this family, and kind of supposed to be going from there. So you said you've caught all up on it, right?
Yeah, I've been watching it since it started, and I watched the latest episode, which came on tonight. Right. And so yeah, I'm all caught up.
Okay, so since you have caught up, and to the listeners, this is probably going to be spoiler-tastic, because I've got some stuff to say about a couple characters in the show and what's been going on. So, fair warning, if you haven't watched Fear the Walking Dead, what is today, the 27th, September 27th? Yep. If you're hearing it just fresh, be warned, there are spoilers ahead. What do you think of it so far?
Honestly, I don't mind it. Actually, I like it. Not as much as The Walking Dead itself, because The Walking Dead's got, of course, more zombies, more action, all that stuff. But I do enjoy the Fear the Walking Dead, mostly because I've always had the question back in my mind, how did the zombie apocalypse start? They never explained it in the Walking Dead series. They never explained, how it happened, how it's caught, how it spread, none of that stuff. And this one, it kind of glazes over it a little bit, but you get the gist of it after an episode or two. That it's an airborne thing that is just released, and you catch it like the flu.
Right. And yeah, it took them a little bit. Well, I mean, they did kind of figure it out in The Walking Dead how the virus works, and that's fine. And I'm really hoping that they will use something like that in this show. But while The Walking Dead kind of centers around a group of radically different people, to me, I swear some of them remind me of like superheroes to a degree. I don't know. They're very mysterious. You don't really start to discover the characters till way later on. Like, I don't know, like, this show is based around a family who has some problems, who has come, like the matriarch, what is it, matriarch? The male? Yeah, matriarch has come from a broken family and started, hooked up with this lady, and she's had a couple kids of her own and everything, but they're still adjusting to him being in the family, and he's got this previous family who the son, Christopher, is, no, Daddy, no, leave me alone, I can do this on my own, and just, I don't like it because there's so much bickering, and it's driving me nuts.
Yeah, it can kind of grinding, sitting there and listening to these people whining all the time about, what's going on? This sucks. I don't think this is fair. Blah, 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 blah.
Exactly.
But,
it's a soap opera almost. And I mean, I know The Walking Dead to a degree is a soap opera. I mean, there's a lot of, conflicting interests. But this one is really bad with it because it's a lot of just boo-hoo.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just a family having some problems. It's the whole family having a whole bunch of problems.
Exactly.
The son's a drug addict. The daughter is this princess who thinks everything's supposed to be perfect and hates her life and blah blah blah.
And I like the fact that, like, when they first kind of introduced her and her boyfriend, it was like, oh, the boyfriend's gonna die. Boyfriend's gonna die. Yeah. This is just gonna make her all upset and sad. But that boyfriend's gonna die because he's like, well, I really love you, and oh, look at this drawing. I'm gonna draw it on your arm, and oh God, give me a break, really. Yes. So
100% cheese.
Yeah, he ended up, getting sick and everything, and while it didn't show him dead or anything, you know what his fate was gonna be. And they never kind of went back to it, but I was just like, ha, he died, So now, like tonight's episode, like with the Mexican guy, the barber.
Yeah, the torturer.
Yeah, torturing, what's his name? His daughter's love interest. And I was like, damn, this dude's harsh, but at the same time, like, towards the end of the episode, I was like, won't this guy shut up? He keeps telling stories that I'm not really interested in. Yes, he's giving me a little backstory, but good God, keep it a secret a little while longer. This is the episode before the season finale. Leave him a little mysterious for me. Don't let me know that he's a very bad guy who's done very bad things.
Well, I think they want to kind of set it up for a season 2. Where maybe his personality type was going to clash with Elliot's personality type.
Elliot?
Yeah, the stepdad.
Oh, Travis?
Yeah, Travis, not Elliot. I don't know why I said Elliot.
Travis.
Yeah, Travis.
Yeah.
He's such a whiny little bitch, too. He's like, oh, I can't kill them, no.
No, this is wrong. No. And then you...
No.
Okay, out of the whole group so far, okay, we've had, what's her name? Esmeralda or Zelda pass away. And, so far, the one I really would like to see getting bit is Chris. Travis's son from his first marriage. I want to see that piece of shit get bit so bad because he's such a whiny little bitch. I'm just like, won't he get bit already? Can't just like a surprise zombie come out of nowhere and just bite him? Just to get it over with?
I would love to see him get bit, but I want to see him get bit like when they're out in the middle of nowhere having to survive. And he's out there for a little bit, realizing life is harder than I thought it was.
See, he is the Carl of the Fear of the Walking Dead to me.
He's not Carl.
Coral?
Stay in the house, Coral.
Why'd the chicken cross the road, Carl? Please tell me you have seen that meme. I know this is off topic, but why'd the chicken cross the road, Carl? I see that. I've had that on my phone like forever. And every time I see it, I've got to read it. And I've got to read it in Rick Grimes' voice. You know? Do the head tilt. Right. Rick Grimes.
Rick Grimes. I matter. This world needs me, Coral.
It needs me, Coral. But
stay in the house, Coral.
There was another meme that showed Rick talking to Lori, and he said, where's Carl? And the next picture was her, but Carl's behind her and says, oh, he's in the house. I was like, yep, that is exactly how it is. Why hasn't this kid gotten bit yet? He should be dead. I don't need you, Dad. I don't need you. I'm a man.
Yeah, I'm a man. I can do my own thing. I eat pudding by the gallon.
Yeah. I will admit I did like that episode, though, especially that to me was like contrasting. And this is weird because it's like Carl, but it's contrasting being a kid, but at the same time, in behind him is reality with the zombies sticking their hands out the window and everything. It was just like, whoa, that was kind of powerful.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was the same episode or if it was the episode prior to it, where they first take refuge in the house, and Rick's kind of muffed up, kind of downstairs to kind of recoup, and Carl's upstairs rummaging through the house, and he comes into that kid's room where it's got the Xbox 360, and you see for half a second that he's like back to a time where he was a kid again, and then all of a sudden, he snaps out of it, going, "Wait, no, those days are gone. I have to do something else."
Exactly,
and that's when he has to get the power cord so he can lock up the door downstairs.
Exactly. The only thing, like, he comes in there, and I will admit, the kid acted it pretty good, okay? I mean, Carl got a good one here. Him coming in the room, and it's just like a normal kid's room. Posters, CDs, got the big TV there, got the Xbox, and he's just gives that little smile like he's in heaven. And then he comes crashing back down to reality. It's like, okay, the only thing I can use here is the power cord from this thing to keep myself alive. I think it was the same episode, I want to say. But I mean,
think it was.
Those scenes, like, they did that more than once in that episode. It was just like him with that conflicting thing. It's like, I'm a kid, but here's what I got to deal with. I've got to grow up fast because of this. And I mean, ever since then, Carl's kind of been a lot better. He's been more palatable, as I said earlier. So
yeah, definitely.
But you got, in Fear of the Walking Dead, you got Chris, who's just a whiny little teenager, and then you got Nicholas, which is like strung out, and I mean, just I don't know if I like him or not. Like, I keep wanting to say, hey, somebody hurry up and bite him.
I think if he were to get clean, he might become a character that's worth liking. But right now he's in that mode of like, I'll do anything to get my next fix. I don't care who you are. I don't care who I gotta hurt. I will get my next fix. And that one episode where he's looking to break into the house in the neighborhood, and the only thing that stopped him was that little girl next door watching him. Yeah. I mean, he was literally, inches away from busting into that house that he's probably busted into 5, 6, 7, 10 times before.
Yeah. And, I mean, he's still, even though he's in this world now that, it's going to be a little scarce, it ain't going to be easy to get his fix, he still managed to get his fix. And it was, like, to me, it was like a gruesome scene. Like, it made me just totally hate him as a character. I was just like, okay, where's the zombie? Let's just get this done.
Right. I don't think there's any character in the show that I'm like, oh, I'm rooting for you, bud. I hope you make it through.
None.
Every single one of these people I hate. I don't care for, and if they were all to die right now, I wouldn't be sad.
Exactly. And here's what's bothering me about the show. Like, I think it was last week I put on Facebook, Fear the Walking boring. It's just, so far it's just been talky, boring. And I know they're trying to set it up. But here's what's bothering me, is the fact that next weekend is the season finale. I think they did 6 episodes, and really nothing to show for it. They've set up some, and I mean, that's great, but I think they needed a little bit more of a push, because while this show is supposed to be its own entity, most of the viewers are fans of The Walking Dead, so they know what's going to happen. They know about the zombie apocalypse. They know about the walkers. Yeah, okay, we want to see kind of what happens to this family, but let's accelerate it a little bit. It seems like it's just been drudging on day by day. They right. Passed by like 9 days, and we're talking about how they turn the power on and off to save the power grid a little bit and so on. But, I mean, it's just dull. Like, the military blocking them in and so on. It's just, it feels a lot like 28 days later. That part does.
Kinda. Yeah, kinda. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I don't know. I really think they're trying to set it up for a season 2, but if they don't pick it up, season 2 might be all they have.
Yeah. And right now, it's not getting good reviews. Like, it's getting very ho-hum reviews. I don't know why. And it's not like my trusted site to go to as far as reviews go. But I go to the site to look at the reviews and just see where the average score is at. And IGN, I tend to go on there and look at the reviews after the shows come out. And, like, at the end of this episode tonight, I was just sitting there, like, looking at my wife going, this is so boring. This episode was boring. She's like, yeah, it kind of was. I got on my phone and looked at the review. They gave it a 6.8. And that's about right. That's about how I felt about it.
Yeah, that's a fairly accurate description of the series overall, I think.
Yeah.
6.0 is 6.5.
Yeah, whereas the Granddaddy show, The Walking Dead, is getting like 9s. Okay, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's no real perfect episode, but they do deserve 9 to 9.5 most of them. Season 2 was a drudge, but most episodes here lately, especially the BBQ, that deserved a 9.8 right there. So
yeah, that was a good episode.
So I saw that episode and was just like, holy shit, are you kidding me? Oh my god. So, and it rung true. It really followed the graphic novel pretty close on that one from what I had seen and what I'd read. So,
right, yeah,
they deserved it.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad episode. It was good. And like you said, I'm really excited and looking forward to October 11th for the season premiere of The Walking Dead, because the way they left it off last season is just like, what's going to happen? Morgan walks back into the complex after not being around for like a season or two after being crazy last time Rick saw him.
Quite
Now
crazy.
Now he's like a Sherlock, like a monk with that staff of his.
Yeah, he's like a monk badass now. It's like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see. And the way they're showing the commercials, they're making it out to be like Rick, him and Rick are conflicting quite a bit. And I don't know if that's the case. Because there's the one scene in one of the commercials where Rick is pointing a gun at somebody. It seems like they're on the ground, and he goes, "Do you know who you're messing with?" I'm like, the way they set it up, it's supposed to be, what was his name, Walter? No, Morgan. My bad.
Yeah, Morgan.
Like he's pointing his gun at Morgan or something like that. I'm like, that ain't Morgan. It's not. They're just being overdramatic in the commercials.
You never know, sir, because they kind of flipped the script. Because the last time we saw Morgan and Rick together, Rick was together. He was like the more put together of the two. He was in charge of the group. He had a mission he was on, and he was trying to pull Morgan back from the edge. In which Morgan was, he was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because he lost his wife, of course. He lost his son. Yeah, he lost his son because of his wife. So he was kind of following his nose because it always knows. He was out there. And, but now, Rick's kind of gone a little bonkers with, the whole entire being cooped up inside this, like, almost like his own prison.
Yeah.
With the complexes, because it's boarded up, it's fenced off, it's locked away from everything he's known up until this point. Now he's kind of like stir crazy, like an outdoor cat being stuck inside. There's circling, waiting to get back outside. And that's how Rick is right now. And Morgan's the calm, cool, collected one, where he's level-headed, seeing things right again. And so it's going to be kind of interesting to see where it goes from there.
And Morgan, in the last episode, came in onto the group just as Rick was pretty much blowing one guy away. Who was that? That was what's her name's son? The mayor or whatever of Alexandria.
No, it was the guy, the girl's husband that Rick was kind of crushing on.
Yeah.
Her husband came and killed the mayor's husband, and right. She's like, she gave him permission to kind of off him because the whole entire season, they're butting heads saying, "No, we don't kill our own. We don't kill our own. We only kill the dead." But once she lost someone important to her, beyond her son. Rules were done.
And Rick has always been kind of the peacekeeper as far as it goes. I mean, a deputy, so he's saying, there has to be law, there has to be punishment, and she didn't want to believe that, and it very dire what happened. But yeah, Morgan walked in on that, so I mean, no explanation. He came in on him just shooting him. So, I mean, it might have changed Morgan's perception on old Rick Grimes. So,
yeah. So, it's definitely going to be an interesting first episode of the season, and I can't wait.
Yeah. And, oh man, it's getting so close. We are, 2 weeks away now?
Yes, sir. 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I've, like I was saying at the beginning of the show, I've made a few friends around here, and a couple of them, he actually does. He's kind of my supervisor to a degree. He sets up the department that I work in. So I ended up talking with him and his wife. I found out both are big Walking Dead fans. So they're like, "Come over, watch it with us." And my wife and I are like, yeah, we definitely need to do that because we had ourselves a little party last night and we were talking about it and we were just like, we can't wait. So, it's definitely made Walking Dead a lot better. So,
Yeah, I bet.
So, yeah. So, anyway, I know the show, we like to keep it down to about an hour, and we've been rolling for about an hour and 20 minutes now.
Yep. Yeah, a little long tooth, but that's what happens when you haven't been around for a while.
It is what it is. And, I mean, the funny thing is we really only kind of talked about what we had been playing. I think we talked more about that than we did about, like, Fear the Walking Dead. So, now, one more thing before we go on to the last segment of the show. And
yes,
I wanted to get your opinion on this. I know you've seen that I've been vocal about it on Facebook. Ghostbusters. I just wanted to bring this up in the show.
Why? You're gonna make people in bad moods, man.
I gotta do it because I'm so passionate about this. I've got to do it. First off, Ghostbusters getting a reboot. They have finished principal photography for the movie. It is all filmed. It is now in post-production. It is an all-female cast, including Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig. And, what's his name? Chris Hemsworth is actually in it. And then, like, this is actually produced by Ivan Reitman, the original director of the original Ghostbusters. And, like, he didn't want to do the next movie because of Harold Ramis passing away and everything. So they got Paul Feig. Is that his name? Is that how you pronounce that? Feig?
Something like that.
I don't know. It's something like that. But, okay, fine. Well, first off, this is a total reboot. They are not acknowledging the previous Ghostbusters movies happening. They are not acknowledging the previous characters. Instead, they managed to get Dan Aykroyd to do a cameo in it. They got Bill Murray, of all people. Bill Murray, for the longest time, said no to Ghostbusters 3. Dan Aykroyd said it was like pulling teeth to get him to be on board for Ghostbusters 3. They got Bill Murray to do a cameo. Then a couple of weeks ago, they got Ernie Hudson to actually do a cameo. They actually got Annie Potts, who played, what was her name? Janine, the secretary.
Yeah.
And the other night, they announced, apparently it was about to be leaked online, so Paul Feig himself went ahead and announced that Sigourney Weaver is making a cameo in it as well. So, what I want to know is, why the hell is the entire cast of the original movie, minus Harold Ramis, or not Harold, well, Harold Ramis, obviously, but Rick Moranis, why is the whole cast in this movie, why didn't they just make another? Why? You know?
Well, it could be a number of things. I think number one is probably ego. Because from what I understand, Bill Murray is a very egotistical person, and so for him to be on board with actually doing another sequel to the original two with Dan Aykroyd, that was a big hurdle because I guess those two don't get along too well.
Really?
That's what I heard, but I could be wrong.
See, now I had heard that Bill Murray and Harold Ramis didn't get along because there was some conflict between the two. Harold Ramis directed Groundhog Day. Bill Murray was in that. It's a funny movie, though. But apparently there was a huge conflict on the set of that movie. Bill Murray finished it up, and they didn't talk for the longest time. And so Bill Murray didn't want to be part of Ghostbusters 3 because Harold Ramis was on board, and that was an issue. So he's had kind words since he's passed away, but I don't know. I mean, even without Harold Ramis, they could have made Ghostbusters 3. I mean, they didn't even need to say that his character had passed away or anything like that. But they could have made a great movie. I mean, Ghostbusters 2 was nowhere near as good as the original Ghostbusters, but I still look back at that and be like, that's my childhood right there. Ghostbusters 2, I remember playing the NES game for that. I remember watching the movie, all that. It was great. I don't understand why they have the whole cast. I mean, I know they're trying to say, hey, move on. This is the new Ghostbusters. Go ahead, just stick with it. But, oh, man, it's sad to see them not playing their characters.
Yeah, it is, but I think they did a pretty good attempt at a Ghostbusters sequel with the Ghostbusters game that came out a few years ago.
yeah. What was it on Xbox 360 and the PS3? And then actually they had like a version on the Wii that was like they were cartoony characters. Like they weren't like the real Ghostbusters back in the cartoon of the 80s, but they were cartoon versions of like Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and all that.
I'm not sure about the Wii version, but yeah, I have a copy for the 360, and I thoroughly enjoyed playing that.
And in that game, didn't you play as like a new recruit to the Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
See how excellent. Even though the female characters, let's say it is still an all-female cast, I think I would have been more on board with it if they would have, acknowledged canon. They would have acknowledged everything that had happened. This Marshmallow Man, Zool, everything. They would have acknowledged it, and it was the Ghostbusters team training a new team. This was originally how it was supposed to be. They actually were trying to talk to Seth Rogen, and a few others, to play the new Ghostbusters team. Which, I mean, I would be down with that. I mean, yeah, the Ghostbusters are a bit up there in age. I would have been really down for that. And even if it was an all-female cast, fine. At least do that. Because I'm not hating on... I don't really care for Kristen Wiig, but I'm not hating on Melissa McCarthy or anything, because she's actually a really good actress, but just written wrong all the time. Just because she's overweight. It's always fat jokes, and she's written like freaking Curly off the Three Stooges. I've seen her in a couple movies where she's freaking fantastic. In a drama or something like that, hell yeah. But she's always written wrong. She's always the doting fat person. It's just stupid.
Well, she does accept the roles, so it's not all the writing. It's also her going, oh, this is a great movie. I'll go ahead and do this.
Yeah, her agent going, it's more money. Think about it. But as I said, there's no news of Rick Moranis reprising his role or making a cameo, which I know he retired a few years ago.
He retired quite a few years ago.
Now, I had read about this on IGN, and I tend to, whenever it comes to Ghostbusters mainly, go down and look at the comments people have been making, and usually they're pretty hateful. I mean, that's with any place. There was one guy that wrote this. I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I was thinking. But he wrote, and I quote, okay, this is getting a bit over the top with cameos. I hope they draw the line before they dig up Harold Ramis and work him in. I was like, damn, yeah, the ghost of Harold Ramis, that they got to catch. Supposedly Slimer in the first Ghostbusters was supposed to be the ghost of John Belushi, because he was originally supposed to be in Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
So, oh god. But yeah, we get to see this hunk of junk hit theaters next year, I believe, during the summer.
Well, I've already decided upon myself. I'm not going to spend the money to watch it. I may watch it later on down the road on DVD or something, but I will not pay money to go see it.
I think I will watch it if I get online and I actually see people saying this movie was funny as hell. If I see users saying that, I don't want to go and read, paid reviewers. I want to see users, and I mean, I can tell you right now, Rotten Tomatoes, we're looking at high teens I guarantee it. It's going to be like a 19 on RottenTomatoes.com. I mean, that's my prediction. Right now, we can go back to this episode this time, whenever June, July, whenever it comes out. Classic Game Freak is saying 19%. RottenTomatoes.com.
I will say lower.
You think lower?
I'm thinking around 6%.
6? Woo!
Yeah, I think it's going to be. There's too many fanboys out there. There's too many people who have hardcore locked in memories of the original series. I mean, I remember watching the first movie in the theater back in 1984. So I mean, I remember that. I'm a huge Ghostbusters original fan. I mean, I had the toys, I watched the cartoon, I mean, all that stuff. I did it all. But there's people out there who are even more into it than I am, or you are, who have more memories engraved into this movie than we do. So now the younger kids who have no frame of reference, they might like it, but people of our generation or older are not going to like it, not going to go see it, and are going to have nothing good to say about it.
Yeah. People who grow up with it just won't understand. People who's never heard of it, yeah. That's about right. Now, with it getting a 6%, I mean, hey, like I said, we'll come back to this episode when it comes out. We'll talk about it. We will talk about it when it comes out. But I'm trying to pull up a couple of examples on the website. Let's see. Right now, Hotel Transylvania 2 came out the 25th. That's Friday, sitting at 52%. That's Adam Sandler in his little animated flick.
Yeah.
The Intern, which is Robert De Niro, that's sitting at 57. And then let's go ahead and take a look here. Top box office. Let's look at Everest is sitting at 73%, which that ain't bad. That's about where I thought that'd sit. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation actually got a 92%.
That's not surprising at all.
So, I mean, it's a Tom Cruise movie. Okay, now here's the scary part. Here's what might blow us out of the water. I just saw this pop up. The movie Spy that actually recently, it looks like it's about to come out on DVD. It says top DVD and streaming movies. This was Melissa McCarthy's last movie. It's got Jason Statham in it. She's like an analyst, an FBI analyst or something like that, and they want her to go undercover and be a spy. Where do you think that one's sitting at right now?
Oh, God. My gut says 32, but knowing the public is probably sitting around 85.
Okay. This is... Let me blow your mind here. Avengers, Age of Ultron. Now, this is a big Marvel movie. Is sitting at 74%. They're saying that's a fresh rating. Spy is sitting at a whopping 93% right now.
What?
93% on Rotten Tomatoes, people.
Wow.
Holy crap. And that actually makes me consider watching the movie because that they rate in user reviews on that too. And I'm just kind of blown away by that. Like I said, Melissa McCarthy, she's a great actress. To me, she's kind of cute. Like, don't get me wrong, there's something about her that is like cute to me. But she's just written horribly. Like Bridesmaids, oh my God, no. But I mean, she's like, there's a movie that her and Ryan Reynolds were in back in like 2008, 2007 called The Nines. And that's when I first noticed her, and I was like, she's a really good actress. I can see her being big later on down the road, but she's big for the wrong reasons now. So, Mike and Molly's actually, like, I've caught a couple episodes of that, and that's actually, it's funny, but it's not overbearing.
Right.
So, there we go. Spy, 93%. So I'm going to say 19 for Ghostbusters, simply because when a movie like this comes out, people like to hate on it. and say, you screwed up my childhood. And this is Ghostbusters we're talking about. So one more movie I'm going to bring out here. Let me see if I can get this pulled up here. I'm trying to talk and type at the same time, and it's not working right.
Well, I'm trying to think of a movie that came out recently that's a remake that we can look up and see what kind of rating that got.
Hey, I've got the perfect one. You've probably heard the phrase, Michael Bay ruined my childhood.
Oh God, Transformers?
Well, there's Transformers, but on a higher level, as far as childhoodism goes, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
To me,
never saw it.
Yeah, I watched about half. And if saying that isn't enough, then yeah, I stopped it halfway through because it was just pure, unadulterated crap.
Oh, don't say that around. Don't say that around Scuba. Scuba said that it was the greatest movie ever made.
Actually, I've seen him post a comment that says that it was crap. Like, there was I was talking about, what movie was it? I was talking about a movie the other night. My cousin responded to it, and then Scuba came in and said, yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was freaking stupid.
See, when it first came out, he was all about it. He was like hardcore defending it too.
Yeah. It, right now, to me, this kind of reminds me of the hype for Ninja Turtles. Ghostbusters to me sits in that same kind of bin. It sits on the same level. So anytime I think Ghostbusters, I'm like, yeah, Michael Bay really screwed that one up. This one's getting screwed up because of the director as well as the cast. Who knows? Maybe they'll knock it out of the park. I don't know. I can't read the future, but the tomato meter, I think 19%. Now, Ninja Turtles is sitting at a very rotten rating of 21%.
Ah.
I think there was one point when it was down to like 13. So
wow.
It's gone up a little bit.
Well, then I changed my prediction. I feel in my heart of hearts 6% is fair, but seeing how current trends are trending and certain actresses and actors are being portrayed by their current roles and projects, I would say Ghostbusters 73%.
Holy crap.
That's not me. My personal opinion, 6%. But what I think it's going to be, 73%.
All right. There we have it then. 6%, you saying it, 73% because of what people's going to say. And I'm still going to just rock that 19%. I'm just going to stay steady like a rock on that one. I want to say 19%. And we'll see.
Sounds good.
So, okay. And shoot, I didn't even realize, this is, it's got a list up here of, the top rentals. And the highest rated movie in the top rentals is Mad Max Fury Road at 97%.
Ah.
Oh, God, I love that movie.
I guess I should sit down and watch it one day.
Yeah, it's just nothing but action. It makes you giddy. So.
I don't know. It takes a lot to be giddy.
Oh, I know. It takes you a lot to be giddy, but hey, you could watch it and say that was a really damn good movie. If you liked the old Mad Max movies, I mean, it's the Mad Max movies times 10. It borrows a lot from the Road Warrior, but there's more to it. It seems like there's more substance without it having to be stupid. I mean, it can be that action flick. It can be that guy film, but it's also that woman's film. Like, Charlize Theron freaking steals the show in this movie, but she's badass in it. She totally steals the show from Max. Max doesn't do nearly as much as she does. So,
yeah.
But it's a spectacle. You watch this movie, and there's so many practical effects in it, so many cars crashing and things like that. It's worth watching at least once.
Well, I might have to sit down and take a gander either later on tonight or tomorrow.
It's worth a couple hours. If you got a couple hours to kill, it's a good one. It really is.
Well, then I might have to check it out then.
Well, alrighty.
Alright then.
So we've come to practically the end of the show. And one thing we have decided we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and suggest a game to each other and review the game in the next episode we do. And hopefully that episode will not be 6 months from now.
Or 2 hours long.
Or 2 hours long. We had a little catching up to do tonight, and we'll see. But I mean, the way I see it, this has been a nice little welcome back, so it's got to be a little bit of a longer episode.
Yeah, definitely. And if anyone's got a problem with it, then you can go see the complaint department.
I tell you what, that they're probably like me. I mean, I actually like episodes that are this long, like in podcasts, because when I'm at work, I've got my music. But here lately, I've really found out about other people's podcasts, and I've really enjoyed listening to them. So when they're short episodes, 30-minute long episodes, I'm like, I wanted more. So
right.
We're giving more. So anyway, yeah, we're basically doing games that we can emulate and play easily, because I could suggest Wild Gunman, and I mean, you'd probably never play that on the Super Nintendo because it's like a $200 game and so on, but through the magic of emulation, we can play them for the low price of nothing.
True.
I have one picked out for you. And, I mean, and it's because I'd never heard of it, like, at all, and it looks like it's got a little charm to it. It kind of looks like it looks kind of like, the map system kind of looks like Castlevania. So, Symphony of the Night. So I'm hoping, it might be fun. I'm actually going to try it out myself. So my recommendation to you is, I believe it's on Super Nintendo. I looked it up. It says Super Nintendo, so I'm going to say The Fireman. Have you ever heard of it?
Well, you said The Fireman?
Yeah, The Fireman.
The Fireman. No, I never heard of it.
Yeah. It looks like you're supposed to be going around buildings, putting out fires and rescuing people. This website here says, it's 6 p.m. on Christmas, and a small fire in the Metro Tech kitchen left unattended has spread throughout the complex. With the building quickly burning to a crisp and injured people trapped inside, it's your job to get in and neutralize the situation. There are 6 floors in all. Thanks to the whole theme and atmosphere, it reminds me of Die Hard the movie, except replace the terrorists with deadly flames and guns with a water hose. So, if you've ever played Die Hard on the NES, there you go. They're saying it's kind of like that.
Oh, joy.
I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad, but hey, that's my suggestion to you, and I want to hear the review when we do the next episode.
Okay. The Fireman. You said it's on the SNES?
Yes.
All right, I'll look it up later on tonight.
There you go. Hey, something new to play.
Oh, good gravy. Okay. Well, the game that I'm going to recommend for you, my friend, is one that I have actually played. It was a childhood favorite of mine. I played it quite a bit when I first got it. I got it as a Christmas gift, sight unseen. It was just given to me for Christmas one year.
Gotcha.
It was for the Sega Genesis, and I want to say it's about 1992, maybe 93. No, not 92. 92.
Okay.
Is a game called Decap Attack.
Decap Attack. Let me look this up. I think I've played it before. I mean, I've seen it on shelves, but Decap Attack. There we go. Is it good? Is it bad?
It's kind of cheesy, but it's fun.
Okay, yeah, no, actually, I don't think I've seen the cover before, but I've never played it. It's not the one I thought it was. Okay. I will play the crap out of it. Oh, it's a platformer.
Yeah, it's a platformer.
Yeah, it looks very cheesy, but I can't wait.
Basically, you use your head as a weapon. You throw your skull around as a weapon.
Okay, I can do this. And I will be brutally honest with it. So if anybody's listening that loves this game, if I hate it, just be prepared for me to be brutally honest on it. I will rip your childhood to shreds.
I honestly, I've never really met anyone else who said, "Oh, I remember that game. That game was so sweet." I don't know anyone who's ever played it before, except for myself and anyone who came over to my house and played my copy of it. So I don't know if it is just that bad of a game that it just did not sell well, or if it was just one of those like little niche games that you had to be in the know to know about. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I had it back in the day for my Sega Genesis, and I played it for it was in my console for quite a while. I'll tell you that for a fact.
Right. Well, I mean, at least there was some fun to be had with it, it sounds like, so.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely a fun game.
Okay. I'll check it out. And like I said, the Fireman, try that out. Like I said, I might actually try that one out myself, because it sounds interesting. But, yeah, I'm gonna have some time after my PS4 leaves home for a couple weeks. So,
yeah, you will.
Yeah. I'll need to try to pass that time, which means playing this and trying to do YouTube videos, making more YouTube videos. Really, really have to.
Yeah, me too. I've been real bad about just wanting to.
Yeah, so why not? I mean, let's just get back into it, have some fun. At this point, I don't care who watches, just whoever comes and watches, they can come and just have a good time. Hopefully I can start shelling out some reviews. Hell, I might do a review on this decap attack. Why not? Do like a full-on actual review showing gameplay and everything. So at least Nintendo won't try to come and take money from it. Do the Nintendo Creators Program or whatever the hell that was. Stupid.
Yeah. No, that's a Sega of America game right there, so you don't have to worry about that at all.
Sweet, sweet Sega Genesis. Screw you, Nintendo. You guys suck for taking people's money.
Yeah, you can eat our asses.
It's stupid. That's a different topic.
Yeah, it's a different topic altogether.
So, okay, so that's going to practically wrap it up for us.
I think so.
I think with this, I know we definitely want to try to get the Facebook page up and rolling again. So you can check us out on facebook.com/classicallyretardedshow. If you want to send us an email, you can at classicallyretardedshow@gmail.com. And who knows, we might talk about you on the show. So if you got any gaming-related questions, especially the retro scene, ask us a question.
Yep. Leave a comment. Anything you want to do. We're down with pretty much anything.
Right on. Let's get some of them followers.
Yep.
Of course, you can watch us here on YouTube. Watch the show. Well, listen to the show. And we're still working on the whole Podomatic thing. But if you look us up on Podomatic, Classically Retarded Show, you should see our most recent shows there.
Yeah, most definitely. We'll definitely try to keep at least the newest episode up there. I don't know if we can go back and repopulate our older episodes.
We can, and we will.
Oh, we will. It'll happen.
Oh, yeah. I've been thinking about that this evening. I'm going to try to put the old shows on. I'm going to try to compress them down a little bit, make it to where everybody can enjoy them.
There we go. So definitely look out for the newest episode on there, and then we will eventually get our back catalog back on there.
Yeah. You can always go back to YouTube and use all that old stuff.
To it.
So, anyway, for the show, I am Classic Game Freak.
And I'm Retarded by Choice.
You all have a good one.
Peace.
Can't get enough gaming talk from just this episode? Then head on over to our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/classicallyretardedshow. There you can keep up to date on gaming news, sales and deals we've spotted on the interwebs, giveaways, podcast updates, as well as anything and everything retro.